Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Game Plan. Today I want to kick off a sub-series about what I believe are the three keys to victory: speed, situational awareness, and prediction. I want to give each of these concepts an in-depth review explaining why they are important and how you can perfect them. This time we'll be talking about speed, and I'll be explaining why it's not only important for gameplay reasons, but for technical and psychological reasons as well. Lastly, I'll talk about how to actually increase your speed of play in a comfortable and rewarding manner. Why speed is better, a gameplay perspective. First off, every game mode is based on which team reaches their objective first. This can be a certain amount of kills, like in Deathmatch or Rush Defender, or it can be taking objectives, like in Rush Attacker and Conquest. Either way, the game is always won by whoever reaches their goal first. This translates into the team who most aggressively takes objectives and hunts down the enemy. Secondly, speed allows you to gain superior positions over your opponent. Flanking routes are generally the long way around, but if you make quick decisions that you execute swiftly, the extra time involved in flanking is easily paid back. Speed basically allows you to be where the enemy does not expect you to be yet. Lastly, speed in target acquisition, dodging, and switching to your handgun can often make the difference between life and death when confronting the enemy. Why speed is better, a technical perspective. All multiplayer games currently in existence continually suffer from a certain amount of lag. This will always be the case because signals have to travel long distances when connecting all the different people into one game. We tend to only notice the lag when it becomes so great that the game responds strangely to our input. However, the fraction of a second lag that is always present can be used in your advantage. For example, if you find yourself in a runaround with an enemy and you know he can see you on the minimap, then try to suddenly change direction at the last moment. If you turn around half a second before he thinks he's jumping you from behind, then his minimap will not have updated with your turn yet, and you can destroy him as he comes around the corner. Basically, fast and erratic movements ensure that your opponent has trouble predicting what you're doing during this ever-present micro-lag. However, the moment you're in the opponent's view, the benefit shifts to whoever is shooting. This is because Battlefield 3 is a so-called server-based multiplayer game where hit detection is calculated client-side for the shooter. What this means is that at any given time the person shooting is the one deciding if you die. If the person shooting sees enough bullets go into you to kill you, then his client will tell the server this, and the server will tell your client, and then you are dead. It doesn't matter if you thought you were behind cover already or not. What happens is that these messages about you being dead or not need time to reach your machine, and in this time you might have reached cover, but you've not escaped death. All of this means that it's always better to play fast and aggressively because the decision if a person dies is made on the machine of the shooter. Why speed is better, a psychological perspective. How well we do at any complex game depends largely on how much attention we can manage to put into it. That means not only that you do better when you're rested and in a calm environment, but it also means that you will do better if you keep yourself on your toes. A quick and dynamic playstyle will engage your mind and naturally encourage you to pay attention to all the different things happening on your screen. On the other hand, if you take up a static position somewhere defending a door or general area, your attention will quickly go down because your mind is not engaged in anything that clearly needs to be attended to. This is how your brain does a sort of automatic resource management. The result is longer response times, which show up clearly in the all too familiar scene where you're faithfully guarding a door for the last minute, only to have an enemy rush in and take you out before you can even press the fire button. When this happens, it's not because you're slow, it's because you're trying to do something your mind is not good at all, staying hypervigilant while doing nothing. The only way to train this skill is to practice meditation, as that specifically improves your base attention levels in a rest state. However, I'm not sure many Battlefield players will choose this road to improvement, so realistically speaking, it's better to keep playing dynamically so your mind is naturally more focused on what's happening. Now, how to increase your speed of play? Now we know why we want to adopt a fast gameplay style, but how do we do that? First of all, speed is something you build up gradually. Your ability to play the game quickly will increase as you become more familiar with everything from button layouts to soldier loadouts. Give yourself a chance to build up this familiarity without beating yourself over the head about stats or performance. Most professional players will actually go into private servers to run around empty maps and shoot guns at walls and try out all kinds of crazy stuff, so they don't need to discover these in an actual match. Of course, to increase your speed, you do need to consciously push your limits. The method I've used for myself is to play Conquest and to focus on running for flags all the time. That would be my number one priority, and while taking one flag, I'd already be planning a route to the next. I've done this so much now that I don't need to put any conscious thought into picking a flag and running a good route for it the second I capture the current one. By building up this mental routine, it's become so automatic that it's faster than when I do it consciously, and my attention is now free to focus on other things. This mechanic can be applied to every element of gameplay. For instance, playing Recon and training yourself to switch to your handgun right after a failed shot will make it second nature to do so when you need a reload mid-battle with any other gun. In the end, speed is mostly defined by how many tasks you can teach your mind to automate, so you can focus on the more complex tasks at hand. And all the while, your opponent will be wondering how you got behind him so quick, why he died in cover, and how you managed to storm his position. I hope this video has convinced you of the importance of speed in Battlefield 3. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, or even subscribe. Thank you for watching.